Joining us on the line right now, one of the most conservative state representatives in Lansing, Steve Carra, is on the line. Good morning, Steve.
Morning, Trucker Randy. How are you doing today?
Good, sir. We're having a great day. Good conversations going on with the folks. And one thing I want to explain and kind of tee up for you to explain is the House Freedom Caucus and how that is put together. Who are the members? Who are the people in it? Who are you trying to attract into it? And exactly how does that tie in with your new PAC, your political action committee, known as the Grand New Party? This isn't a third party, folks. This is a political action committee raising money. Explain the House Freedom Caucus to the listeners.
So they are two separate things. We'll start with the Freedom Caucus. There are 8 members of the House in the Freedom Caucus. I'm the chair. Matt Maddox, the vice chair. Neil Frisky is secretary. Angela Regas is the parliamentarian. And then we have Joe Fox, Rochelle Smith, Jim DeSena, and Andrew Beeler are the 8 of us who are in the Freedom Caucus. And we adhere to the principles of the Republican Party platform. I think if the 54 of us did a better job, we'd be excited to have more people in the Freedom Caucus, but we're not just looking to bring people in so we have more numbers. We have an expectation that we adhere to the Republican Party platform, our oath to uphold and defend the Constitution, and a limited government for the purpose simply of protecting the rights of the people. Government is way too big and intrusive in our lives, and there's fewer and fewer legislators, it seems, who are willing to stand by what a constitutional republic is supposed to be.
A question I have, though, right out of the gate with that statement, these Republicans that run in the primary election, especially when they're hoping to get the nomination, they basically promise, they say, they pledge, they say all those things you just mentioned to get elected to at least to the primary. And then it seems like once they win the general, because we're mostly a lot of us Republican districts, especially up here in northern Michigan, some of them go down to Lansing and immediately I don't know if it's the water they drink, the air they breathe, freshman orientation. I don't get it, Steve, but so many of them forget exactly what you just said.
It's orientation, the Lansing Lobby Corps, leadership. There's different angles that pressure people into becoming more go along to get along. When you want to be chair of a committee next term and you're intimidated that you should conform to the system that exists in order to earn yourself into positions of having more influence would be the theory, to be on the committees you want, to get your bills across the finish line, to have the lobbyists draft up bills that you can attach your name to that are already predestined to get across the finish line and you get to take credit for it. Those types of things are the status quo. And I think there are a lot of well-intentioned Republicans out there who end up going along to get along with the status quo of politics because before they know it, that's the game they're playing and they're bought into it. And we need people who are going to go hold the line and stand up for the Republican Party platform to get away from the central planning, because this whole corporate welfare stuff with these Chinese companies that are coming in and getting their special deals, this is an awesome opportunity for us Republicans to embrace true free markets and equal opportunity for everybody, not picking winners and losers like the Democrats do.
Well, and you mentioned a word that was a trigger for me. They buy into it. And a lot of it has to do with donations to their campaigns, paying back some of their campaign debt, paying that off, putting more money into their campaigns for upcoming elections. A lot of it has to do with money. And this is part of what we're going to talk about in the next segment is your PAC, your Political Action Committee, the Grand New Party. But more importantly, is that an accurate statement on my part? Buying in and the money and the lobbyist money and all that, does that play a part?
I'm sure it does. In general, if you go there and you play the same game that other people play, you are recognized as part of the family. You are united, but not united behind the principles of the Republican Party, but united behind the status quo of politics.
Yes.
And if you join that family And if you have a primary opponent against you who's going to be a strong constitutionalist, a strong conservative, somebody who's not bought and paid for, somebody who's going to hold the line, the machine of politics will protect you against that strong conservative primary.
For our state representatives, 54 Republicans to 56 Democrats. Steve, you made a comment that I want you to elaborate, explain, is that when we have elected official incumbents, they promise us things as perhaps a new incoming freshman state representative or state senator. And they say certain things on the campaign trail, and they run TV ads or mailers out there in the mailboxes. They knock on doors, and they tell people all the things that you basically said. You guys stand on the Republican platform. You stand in the oath that you take in defending both the United States Constitution and the state of Michigan's Constitution. They say those things. They say them in debates. They get elected. They go to Lansing, and I always use the term they get co-opted, whether it's the money, the lobbyists, or whatever. But more importantly, when it comes re-election time and we follow these voting records, I have the scorecard. I have the scorecard for the first quarter of 2023, where you and Neil Frisky and others got 100%. We have then Ken Borton and John Roth, my state representative, getting 90%. Cam Cavett in the 106 getting 58%. State Senator freshman who said those things to us, John DeMoose, gets a 17% on that scorecard. I send that scorecard out to all my listeners. Text me the word scorecard. I'll send it to you. Then we say, enough's enough. We're going to stop. We're going to find a patriot to run against you. We're going to challenge you. But you're saying there's actually a machine in Lansing that will protect that falsely elected person, state rep, state senator. They'll actually defend that person against our patriot?
Well, I'll give you a specific example on that from last term. I was ranked the most conservative state representative in 2022, and I had a primary opponent. I spent about $41,000 in my primary. I had an opponent who spent about $116,000. So he outspent me almost 3-1. The leadership teams didn't do anything to protect me. In theory, in a perfect world, I suppose, you would protect your most conservative state representative. I was not protected by the machine at all. I was left on my own. I went out there, I knocked at doors. I was outspent almost 3-1, but overcame the challenge. And meanwhile, there's other Republicans who were ranked towards the bottom, maybe number 50 or 52 roughly we had 57 Republicans last term.
Sure.
Leadership funds were sending $10,000 type checks to protect number 50 or number 52, but they couldn't be bothered to do that to protect number 1. So that's the machine that exists. If you behave yourself, do what the Lansing Lobby Corps wants, regardless of whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. If you're going to work hard to redistribute wealth from the hardworking middle class to the corporate elite and do the special interest groups bidding, they will reward you. And if you're going to stand up for free markets and equal opportunity for everybody in a level playing field with less rules, regulations, taxes, fines, and fees, you're going to be disenfranchised in Lansing.
Now, in your opinion, is this money coming from lobbyists, special interest groups? Is it coming from within leadership? Where is most of this money coming from? I have a specific question. Senator Atlanta Tice, millions of dollars went to defeat Mike Detmer, a patriot that was running against her in that primary for that Senate seat. Where did that money come from?
Well, in any circumstance, the money will go from Lansing Lobby Corps to the leadership funds and HRCC or SRCC. HRCC is the House Republican Campaign Committee. SRCC is the Senate Republican Campaign Committee. Democrats have similar concepts on their side of the aisle, but those don't play in the primaries. HRCC and SRCC don't, but then they'll donate money as well to the leadership funds. And those leadership funds are what members will use to donate in primary seasons for their chosen Republican to win the primary. And in theory, that helps them to garner their support running for leadership, because if we're in majority and you want the vote to be Speaker of the House or to be a Speaker pro tem, if you're cutting fat checks in primaries to the person who's expected to win, well, they're more likely to vote for you for Speaker or Speaker pro tem. So it's a system that's corrupt, and well-intentioned people get involved in this corrupt system and become part of the problem.
And most of the time, I hope you would agree with this statement, they always want to protect the incumbent. They never, ever support the primary opponent, patriot, coming in, regardless of the voting record, regardless of the things they've said on certain committees and done certain things. Doesn't matter. It seems like this leadership PAC always supports the incumbent. Why is that?
Well, the incumbent who's proven their willingness to conform to the system. It's somebody who's going to take the time and energy and risk resources and go out and work hard to primary a status quo incumbent is going to be somebody who is going to not fall in the good graces of the Lansing Lobby Corps. It's somebody who's not going to fall in good graces with the just general machine that exists. And that's why the Grand New Party exists, is to support strong conservatives in Republican primaries. I say we get conservative victories in primaries, Republican victories in November. Just having an R in front of your name is not sufficient enough. Yes, we do want to come together, and yes, we do want to win those Republican victories in November, but we want to get the conservative victories in the primaries. Whether we play in open seats or, if it is against an incumbent, that will be seen very offensive to the machine. If the Grand New Party endorses a candidate against an incumbent, that'll be something that I will take a lot of backlash from in Lansing if it happens. But we're going to have to assess how much money can we raise as a Grand New Party. It's an independent PAC, again, focused on getting those strong conservative victories in the primaries. We're up against all kinds of money that's holding back conservatives from winning in primaries. So we need to have a PAC that's going to go in there and who's going to vet, endorse, and financially support those strong conservatives who deserve the votes of Republicans.
So bottom line is, this PAC needs to raise a ton of money if you're going to be able to, like you say, identify, find, vet candidates to run against these people, incumbents that the machine is supporting. You guys are going to need a lot of money to do that. And I believe Shane Trejo in Traverse City last Thursday spoke about an event that's coming up. I want you to talk about the event that's coming up and explain to people how these events are going to be put together, not only this one, but other future ones, and how much money you guys need to raise.
Yeah, so I'll first give a quick plug. I'm going up there twice. Neil Frisky on Friday is having his shoot on June 2nd, this Friday, so I'll be up there for that.
Yep, I'll be attending it as well.
So looking forward to seeing you there, and hopefully many others. It's a great representative they have in Neil Frisky up there, and it's an honor to support him. And then I'll be back up towards that way again in Gaylord on June 11th. You actually had an advertisement for the Iron Pig Smokehouse there during
Yep.
And we will be there at the Iron Pig Smokehouse on June 11th from 4 to 7 p.m. That'll be for the Grand New Party for that event. And again, we're looking to raise money to support the strong conservatives, the people like Neil Frisky, the people like Freedom Caucus members, but also county commission and school board candidates throughout the state as well. So this is going to take years to grow the Grand New Party and make it, more of a force throughout time. We just launched in this past year here and looking to get off the ground and get some victories here in 2024.
Now, do you guys have a website? My listeners, people listening to this interview, can they go to a website and see these events that are upcoming so they can purchase tickets or, be able to attend, RSVP? Do you have a website you'd like folks to go to?
Yes, absolutely. People can do that at gnppac.com. GNP for Grand New Party, and PAC is PAC.com.
.com. So it's two P's. GNPPAC.com.
Correct.
Okay, very good. I want to make sure I got that right because I will be attending Neil's event there on this Friday. It's going to be at the Charlevoix Rod and Gun Club. If you guys want to register or RSVP, send an email, team@neilfrisky.com, or if you want, just text me the word number, and I'll text you the phone number to Oscar Barden, and she'll be able to register you. Yet time to register for it. But then your event, let's talk about that again. It's going to be at the Iron Pig Smokehouse downtown Gaylord on June 11th. Explain what time that's going to be, and do people have to pre-register for that?
It'd be nice to have RSVPs, but if people end up not and they just want to show up, that's fine too. It's 4 to 7 p.m. on Sunday, June 11th. At the Iron Pig Smokehouse there in Gaylord. So those are good patriots there at Iron Pig. They're one of the restaurants who remained open throughout the shutdown, as I'm sure a lot of your viewers are aware. And
yes,
that type of standing up for freedom is something that we certainly appreciate. And so we're happy to do an event there.
Yeah, he's one of our sponsors. As a matter of fact, he was just on right before you and talking about things happening in Gaylord and Neil Gorsuch's opinion regarding Title 42 and informing the folks, bringing everybody up to speed. But lastly, I want to ask you this question. Now, Proposal A, or Proposal 1, I should say, passed, and it gives you guys in Lansing now 12 years to serve in the House and or the Senate or any combination thereof. What term are you in, and how many more years do you have if you continue to get the support of your constituents?
I'm in my second term, so I could run 4 more times for a total of 12 years. They're 2-year terms in the House. But like you said, it's 12 years total. If I serve 12 years in the House, then I can't do any in the Senate, or I could do 4 in the House, 8 in the Senate, 8 in the House, 4 in the Senate. You are correct. 12 years total combined between the House and Senate. So that was the change that was made from Proposal 1 last year.
Yeah, and though at the same time, with you guys forming the Grand New Party's PAC and getting this information out to people and letting them donate to you, your PAC, versus donating to the RNC or to the Michigan GOP, this actually gives them ability to get other fellow patriots elected to reinforce and support all you guys down there now.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to donate to the MRP, it's good to get those Republican victories in November. I think Christina Caramo is clearly a grassroots person, so having her in there is, I donated to the MRP. I know fundraising is going to be a little bit more difficult now that we don't have an establishment person in there.
Sure.
But, having the Grand New Party, we're an independent PAC focused on getting those conservative victories in primaries, and we will need the financial backing of strong patriots who believe in the Freedom Caucus, who believe in the most conservative Republicans and the vision of what we stand for and adhering to the values of the party as the mission to win moving forward. The other option is to be passive, weak, milquetoast, less to the left than the Democrats, but that's what we've seen decade after decade, and we're losing our country. I think we need to reverse this ship, stand up on the Republican Party platform, and anything anybody can do to financially support the Grand New Party so that we can financially support the strong patriots out there would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, you guys are fighting it out. MERS News Service is going to have a problem naming most of you House Freedom Caucus as the most conservative state reps this year. Interesting to see how that's going to play out. But you guys are fighting the good fight and voting the right way and standing up for your principles. Are they letting you talk? 20 seconds, Steve. Are they letting you guys talk in caucus?
We do talk in caucus. We're not supposed to talk about caucus in any kind of depth or detail, but
right.
Yes, there is open dialogue in there. And
good.
I do appreciate that.
Yes, absolutely. Just wanted to make sure they weren't shutting you guys out, shutting you out from being able to speak. First Amendment rights. That's what we stand for.
Well, thanks.
Steve Carra, we appreciate you coming on the show. Again, GNPPAC.com. Thank you, Steve. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, thank you.